Say hello.
Hello.
Hello and very welcome to Real Excel Epilepsy Portal. Today's video, our live stream rather, is about Virginia's story on how her first seizure happened. She will tell you about the actual seizure, what she felt, how scared she was because she didn't understand what it was. And so she is the one telling you the story today. And
Mm-hmm.
this is all, she does that every time when I'm talking to you guys. She's not even looking in the camera. Virginia, you should be looking
Go,
in the
you want
camera.
me to open this room on my phone?
Okay, I'm gonna be behind the scenes today because she's the one telling you the stories. And so I will ask her some questions now and
Don't
then.
worry, Mom will do most of the talking like usual.
Okay, so go ahead, Virginia. And
Hi, Sophie.
so we have people waiting already for quite some time because we were trying to set it up properly. Somehow YouTube didn't put the right timing on it. And so thank you for waiting for us, Sophie,
Hi,
for such a long
Spidey.
time. And so, Virginia, you
And
can.
yes, Sophie, I'm still seizure free.
Yeah. Oh, I
Mm,
can hear the echo from the other room. I'm gonna go turn it off. Okay, Virginia, so start on your story. Tell us about your first experience, the first time you have a seizure happened to you that you know not that now you know it was a seizure. Now we both know it was, which we didn't know at the time, and we had no clue what was going on, both of us, until I mean, even like years later, we figured, this was a seizure and the smaller things were also seizures. Okay, go ahead, honey.
okay. So my first seizure. Um.
Okay, go ahead, honey.
L- Let me paint a picture for you. I was walking out my door so that I could go to a taekwondo class at the community center. As soon as I locked the door and faced to go out to get off the bungalow porch, whatever that thing was supposed to be called, um, as soon as I faced towards like going towards the sidewalk, I blacked out completely. Um, I wasn't conscious at all during my seizure. I just remember um, that I was going to Taekwondo. It was the third Saturday of May. I remember that very clearly because that's when I just remember so clearly. Um, I was 13. Yeah. Third Saturday of May, the year that I was going to turn 14 in the summer. But anyway, um, I was heading to Taekwondo. I blacked out on the porch. Next thing I know, I am on the ground and everything feels dizzy. Like I can't see, like I all I see is dizzy. And what I know, did you turn off the stream?
No, I didn't. What's going on?
It's portraying itself. Um,
It's not saying that on my phone.
yeah, what is on my
Hold on.
phone? Okay, it's still working.
Is it?
So yeah, so when I was on the ground on the porch, I was um confused. I didn't know what happened. I was scared. I tried so many times to get up, but I couldn't get up. Is like my legs weren't working. I tried. It was like I knew how to get up, but like a baby who's just learning how to walk, who like hasn't even walked yet. Like they keep falling down. But I couldn't even like stand up. I tried to put my foot up like how you bend your knee to try and get yourself up. I tried to grab onto the doorknob to give myself leverage, but I kept like falling down. Then I tried to reach up and try to unlock the door, uh, but for some reason the key wasn't going in. Like I kept trying and I kept trying to get the key in, but like because my vision was so blurry, I guess, and my coordination, I didn't have any coordination at that point. Um, because I was in recovery mode, so I didn't have any coordination, and the key just kept like it was basically just pushing around the outside of the lock, and nothing was happening. And I couldn't grasp the key. The key kept falling. I remember that. I kept trying to pick up the key and it kept falling. I didn't have any. My muscles weren't working. Um,
So you were at that point, I guess you were totally scared because you didn't understand what was going on.
yeah, I was freaking out, and I remember I was panicking. I was like, "What's going on?" And then I started banging on the door because I just gave up trying to open the door myself.
That's
So
that's when I
that's when you opened the door, and I still couldn't get up. So I remember I crawled inside, and I think I crawled to my room.
no, first I saw you at the door because I had a conversation with you. This was many years ago. That's why Virginia doesn't remember every
I just
moment of it.
from what I remember, I
Yeah.
just remember crawling and then being in my room and trying to explain it to you.
Okay, so I remember. Okay, so I remember the part I remember, or how I remember it, because it was many years ago,
Mm-hmm.
was that you were banging at the door. So I thought, oh, I thought maybe you misplaced the keys or you couldn't open it. So I came to the door, and then I saw you acting out weird. You were on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
sitting on the ground, like as you banged on the door. I opened the door, so I saw you, and then I was asking Virginia what was happening, and she was just mumbling. She was, so you don't
I
remember
in
that
my
part?
head at
Yeah.
that moment, I knew what I wanted to say. Like I could clearly think about what I wanted to say. It just wasn't coming out
Yeah.
like I wanted to say it.
Okay.
It came out as
It wasn't coming out pretty much like at all. So
the
I
Chewbacca
was
voice, but like
trying to understand what was going on, and so I asked Virginia, what what happened, and she was still mumbling, and so then I asked her, I told her, hey, quit playing around, because Virginia used to like to joke around and play. So I said, quit.
what do you mean used to?
Okay, she's
I'm
still
still
doing.
an actress.
Yes, she's still a
Very dramatic.
very dramatic actress. So yeah, I asked her, and she just couldn't tell me. So I guess at that point, you kind of pointed to me because she couldn't speak at all and she couldn't tell me. So you were pointing that you wanted to write down. You were writing on my hand. You were writing inside like my hand, like inside
In
of
your
my
palm.
on my palm, and like scribbling in my palm. So I figured you wanted to write things down.
Okay.
I just went with it, I didn't I didn't know what to do because I didn't
I
understand
know I
what
was
was
getting
going on.
frustrated. I was
Yes.
getting frustrated because I couldn't speak. The words weren't coming out like I wanted them to. So I figured, if I can write it, then maybe like I can tell her that something's wrong.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was in my room at that point when I was trying to write the things down.
Okay, so before you started writing things down, so at the point where she got so frustrated that she started crying, that's when I knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Because
I got,
I was trying to write down, I was in my mind, I saw how to write it down,
yes,
but when
I
it came
saw
out,
the
it was
scribbles.
scribbles. It
It
was
was,
scribbles, and I got so pissed at myself. I'm like, why isn't this working? Like, why can't I write this down? And I got so frustrated, and I started crying because I didn't know what was going on with me. I thought something was very wrong. I thought I was dying,
yeah, a lot of that, a lot
and
of people probably go through the same thing. They don't know what's going on.
and
They have no clue. They're
yeah, and I
scared.
guess at the point when I started crying, you were like, okay, something's wrong.
Yeah, so Virginia has a comfort food. First of all, because it's her first story,
And it's my Menzies.
and
I need chocolate.
so she needs some comfort food to tell her story. But yeah, so it's it was very emotional, and a lot of people go through this. They have experiences that they can't explain, that never happened to them, and suddenly some of the functions of the body that they had are not working. Okay. Now, from that story, as you can watch different videos, on our channel, you will see that Virginia had many different types of seizures, and different parts, or different, in those seizures, different parts of the body weren't just working. And, to understand seizures and epilepsy, it's a huge, it's a huge thing to understand parts of it, because it affects so many parts of your life and of your brain and of your body, that each seizure, even if it's, let's say, we take one type of seizures. From that one type of seizures, people have so many different experiences. So going through those experiences is a very difficult part, especially at the beginning, when you don't understand what's going on. And as Virginia's seizures were developing, like different kinds, and as they were evolving to different types of seizures, it was very scary for her, very scary for me. So,
Well,
um,
because you
I
didn't
don't,
see me have the seizure, so you didn't know that I had a seizure. So,
I didn't know, I had no clue. Okay. And so this is for, all of you who don't know what's going on. Um, Especially for people who don't understand what seizures are. And my perception of seizures up to like very, even for many years, was that, a person falls down and they
convulsions.
have the convulsions, and there's foam coming out of their mouth.
Yeah,
That's,
but we didn't know about the recovery period. I knew that seizures were convulsions,
yeah.
okay? That's what I knew. But I didn't know that I had convulsions.
But that first seizure
I
was not
was
your that first seizure was not a convulsion.
no, I definitely had a convulsion because I was banged
Oh,
up.
okay. So you were probably in the recovery. You were
Yes,
banged up.
I was
Okay.
banged up. I had bruises after that. I was in pain.
Oh, okay. I forgot that
My
part.
muscles
Okay.
hurt so bad.
All right.
That's probably like a contributing factor why my muscles weren't working.
Yeah.
Um, like I couldn't hold things, but um, yeah, I was in recovery mode. We didn't know that there was such a thing as recovery mode. Like I assume that like a person has a seizure and then they just like get up and continue doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah, so I didn't
I mean that is the case for some seizures, but like
yeah, some seizures people.
not for convulsions.
Yeah, and so the convulsive seizures people usually take longer to recover. And some of your seizures you took like an hour to recover. So I mean,
Or more.
yeah, the difference between one seizure to another and one person from another, it can be huge, you know. So it is important to understand uh how seizures work and what your particular seizures are about. Okay, so anything that you can suggest to people, when they are in that situation, the one that happened to you, when you were feeling so scared, when you were feeling so frustrated because you didn't know what was going on, what could you tell, people to, what could you tell them, what's the best thing to do at that point?
In retrospect, even though my muscles weren't working, I could have still like showed 911 with my hands. Like with my fingers showing like 911 for you to call 911.
Did
So
I? Because I can't remember if I
no,
did.
I was
Oh.
thinking just now, like I could
Oh.
have done like this, like do like a 9 or like this 911 or whatever.
I would still think that you're playing with me because, you used, I
Or
mean,
like this.
okay, yeah, that's just a phone. Okay.
Yeah. And I could have done that, but obviously I was freaking out. In that
S
moment,
SOS is also like, I mean, if you can't write 911 or SOS, somewhat to let somebody know that
I
you
can't
want
do
them.
SOS with my fingers.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Anyway, if somebody can, they're very talented and probably very double jointed.
Okay.
But I don't know, try to think. Don't automatically go to, oh my god, I'm dying, because that's gonna make you freak out. Try to think of like try to push away what your mind is of like automatically going to the worst thing and try to think logically. Zinash, you can't have my ice cream. No, it's chocolate. You can't have it. Anyway,
Sit. Sit.
she's sitting.
No, she's not.
What she
She's
was
doing downward dog.
Okay, see, she's sitting now.
No. You want to be in the stream? You want to be?
Okay,
You want to
let
be in
her
the
off.
stream? You want her?
Yeah.
Okay. Watch your sign over there. She's probably gonna be. I was just reading Sophie's comments about her experience with the MRI.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you go to mommy. You be a good girl. Don't make too much mess.
But I would suggest try to stay as calm as possible.
No, no, come here. Come here, girl. I'm gonna put. Come now. No, go to mommy. Go, mommy. Go to mommy. Go with mommy. Good girl.
She just wants to be on the bed.
Go over there.
Just let her be on the bed.
Oh, okay, okay. Lie down. You're not getting any chocolates. That's not for dogs. All right.
You know you have a cup holder in your chair.
Okay, go ahead, honey.
You have a cup holder in your chair?
Continue with your story.
Look, Mama. Okay, whatever.
Zina doesn't need a cup holder.
Yeah, but not for you. Anyway. So, I would suggest just trying to be as calm as possible in that situation. And that's probably not really calm at all, but try to focus on figuring out what to do and like how you can possibly
communicate what you want to communicate. Because I mean, when the body doesn't let you do what you want to do,
yeah.
it is hard to communicate. And I and Virginia had, especially in a postictal state. So now we understand this was a postictal state, that she had, many times she couldn't speak for a very long time. Okay, so now we understand. Obviously, it was a postictal state.
Hi,
I'm sure of
Misha.
that. Hey,
She says
Misha.
hello, everyone.
That's Virginia's sister. So, yeah, so in a postictal state, you just have to be patient. The functions will
Hi,
come
Matt.
back to you. Hi, Matt.
I was having my ice cream.
Yeah, Virginia is comforting her emotions for her story, for her first seizure story.
It's not about my emotions from my story. It's about my it's about soothing the beast that likes to come out for a week once a month. Okay, so for a week
Okay,
and a month.
soothing the beast. Okay, so as long as it works and you feel good
Yes,
and you almost finish with the whole bucket.
I did half of it like the other day. So
Oh, okay, so it was
this is the rest of the half.
half a bucket. Okay, that's not bad.
So yeah, this one is vegan from Ben and Jerry's. This is not what's the word? They're not paying me. This is not a promotion. This is not a paid promotion, but it's yummy. The peanut butter half baked, the non dairy, is better than the regular half baked because this one, the other one has like cookie dough, or no, the other one has like peanut butter and cookie dough, and then this one has like the same thing, but like there's pieces of fudge brownies, so like it's even better. Mm-hmm. Yum, yum, yum.
I'm trying to find how I can get back.
So when you have a seizure, try to stay as calm as possible. I know it's difficult, but I mean, I had experienced seizures for 13 years. To some point, I don't know when. Actually, I think I just sort of was over it. I think when I was like 14, when I was spent like a whole month in the hospital or something, I was just like, I don't know. But like I think when I was 15 and like I was going to school more regularly, I just like if I had a seizure, I just wanted to continue with whatever I was doing because at that point I knew what a seizure was. Like at that I was having seizures, and I didn't want people to be like freaking out and stuff. I just wanted to have my seizure and then just continue and like, but it was so frustrating. I was just like, I didn't want people to be paying attention to me. Like, get back to whatever you're doing. But obviously, that wasn't the case. I mean, in some cases, like, it was important for them to be like paying attention to me and calling ambulance and stuff. But at other points, I was like, you know what, I'm fine. I didn't get any bangs or bruises or cuts or whatever. So, ambulance is not necessary. But, like, I mean, there was this one point in high school. I think I was in the cafeteria. It was lunchtime. And I remember my friend saying, "Why do you always turn your head towards me when you have a seizure?" Yeah. Because I had a seizure. That I think that was the first time I had a seizure with her, and then the another time was when we went to the movies for her birthday, and I had a seizure in the movies. It was I remember the movie. I was getting stressed. I was getting emotional with the movie. So yeah. Uh, but I mean, teenager, always emotional. uh, but yeah, like okay, so the cafeteria. I uh I remember my tongue used to be a lot wider. Like it's wide, but it used to be a lot wider, and I actually bit a chunk of my tongue off. I remember that. And according to uh someone who is now uh well, not in my life, let's put it that way. But remember, he said this was years after. So when I was 15, this happened. But years after, I think it was 19 when he told me that he was working security. There's still a stain on the cafeteria floor where I had that seizure because there was so much blood coming from my mouth. And people thought I was when I came back to school after they took me to the hospital and stuff. People were asking me like, oh no, they were telling me that they saw me vomiting blood, but it wasn't me vomiting blood. It was me fucking whoops. it was me. It was me just I don't know, just spitting up blood, I guess, because my tongue was like a chunk of it was came off. But thankfully, I haven't had to deal with that since like middle of July, and I'm hoping that's gonna continue for the rest of my life. I don't know, but like I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah. So, now that you've told the first story, we want to evolve from that to the part where, um, like, what do you want, other than saying what's the best thing to do? I mean, if any of you guys have suggestions of what you can do when you can't communicate. Well, hand or coordination is not there, obviously, in a post-ictal state. Usually people can't think straight, so that, with
Or
that
their
first
thinking
seizure,
is a lot slower.
yeah, with your that post-ictal state, obviously you knew what you wanted to communicate, but you couldn't.
It took me a long time. I had to think slowly.
Okay.
And I was thinking, okay, this is what I want. That in my brain, that's what was going. Okay, so I can't talk. Maybe I should try to write it.
Okay, so it felt like that. So
It was
the
it was like
thinking was like really slow.
you know how like people in the superhero movies, like there's people who can like slow down time or stop time. It felt
Hmm.
like that.
So like a slow motion movie, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Slow motion.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean that would be very scary. I mean, for anyone at any age, because when suddenly you don't know what's going on, then I don't know how, like, I would react. I would be scared. I would be frustrated. I mean, the same. You were scared and frustrated.
Scared is an understatement. I was freaked out.
Yeah.
I know why they call it half baked because it has the chocolate and it's like all this stuff. and it's so good that it makes you feel stoned after.
So it's fully baked. Maybe the
No,
only
not
half.
fully baked because it doesn't have the stuff that makes you baked, but it's half baked because it gives you the feeling of feeling good,
Okay. So
but without the paranoia.
yeah. So anyways, going back to the story, it is important for anyone who comes to contact with
I want
seizures. This is
more.
especially for epilepsy awareness, for people who don't know what seizures are and who don't understand that there are different stages of seizures, to understand that there is a kind of pre-seizure state where a person can start acting weird. This
You
is
mean the aura?
what yeah, so the aura is usually is another type of seizure. It's a smaller seizure before the big seizure. And
So me and this guy in the hospital, we started uh, the seizures the same way of turning the head. So when I was in the EMU,
okay,
so um, I knew when that he was gonna have a seizure. I like at this point I was like frustrated. I couldn't go help him because I couldn't walk or anything. But like I tried to like say help him, but I guess nobody like noticed because I didn't say loud enough. I should have like screamed it out like help him, because he was sitting in a chair and he started like really like turning.
okay. So this
So
is
I knew he was
one
gonna have a
clue for you
seizure.
guys. For someone, if there's that's the moment where the person is already starting to have a tonic-clonic.
White
Okay.
lioness is Misha.
So at that point, you have to be ready to catch them, okay, and to lay them down on the side on the ground, because
And
if they fall, they could hurt themselves.
and
Yes.
don't let when you're having a seizure. You can put a spoon in your mouth when you're having ice cream, okay?
No spoons.
But don't let anybody. I mean, if you're convulsing and you're blacked out, and then
You can't.
you can't.
You can't.
You can't refuse it.
But if you're
Because
watching somebody having a seizure, don't let anybody.
don't put anything in the mouth.
Virginia, you
Try
shaking
to
the spoon at people. Shaking a spoon at people.
try not to put your fingers in there because
So
then you're
no,
gonna lose
no
them.
spoons. Put the spoon behind this big X that I'm doing right
No
now.
spoons.
Okay, no spoons in the
Okay?
mouth of person who has seizures.
So no spoons because you can break their teeth.
No pieces of metal, no pieces of
Nothing.
anything.
If somebody has food in their mouth, you try to take it out
Yes.
so they don't choke, or at least put them in a position so that the food falls out.
The Heimlich maneuver to help to get the food out of the mouth.
Okay.
Somebody saved Virginia's life.
Heimlich maneuver is somebody's choking. Okay.
Yeah, but you need to get the food out. Actually, somebody did that and saved your life, honey.
Okay. Well. Okay. Anyway, so where was I?
No spoons and no objects of any kind.
No fingers because you're gonna lose your fingers.
I was just gonna tell that story because someone has written, someone has
Didn't you try
shared
to take
their
food out of my mouth
story.
one time? You were scared you were gonna lose your fingers.
Somebody shared a story that I think it was a brother or sister.
Are you sure it wasn't you?
Bitten their fingers.
Did
And
they
I'm
lose
saying,
their finger?
do not off, just bit.
And listen, don't put any fingers in my mouth because
Honey, I know better.
I
Okay?
don't wanna. I'm vegan.
Yeah.
I don't eat meat. I don't eat sausages.
That's not funny though. No, that's not funny. That's why Virginia has her own comedy channel.
Why you laughing?
Okay.
It's not funny.
Virginia, I don't know if you guys can see. Just put it a little bit. Put it a little bit over to this way. Just a little bit over to the right. Tiny bit over to the right. Yes, beautiful. So Virginia DG laughs. That's Virginia's comedy channel.
Virginia DG laughs. Okay,
Yeah.
you can see the laugh over here. And then on my health channel, Virginia DG.
Okay, and then the gaming channel, Virginia DG Gaming, that's one word too. And then my vlog channel is Virginia Delgado Gonzalez. Delgado Gonzalez is hyphenated, but you can just go to the channels tab on my channel and just go and get that and go see the vlog channel.
Zena, be quiet. Sit
Zena,
down.
come here, Boba, Luba.
What do you want, honey? You have to eat your own food. Yeah.
Come here, come. You gonna come here. Come closer. Come.
She wants something from me.
She wants the cookies. Come here, come. Come closer. Come closer. Come closer. Come closer.
This is our seizure dog for Virginia.
Yeah. She wants attention because she's a big baby. Yes, she's a big baby. She's licking her collar because
I just put it on so you could grab her if she starts
being baby
if she starts jumping around and
going meow.
say
I
say
think
hello
she
to
thinks
everybody,
she's
Zena. Come on, be a good girl.
Hello.
She's a good girl.
Inipa, high five. Come on. High five. Come on. Where are you going? Come on. Come here. Come here. Why are you running up? High five. Come on. High five. Good girl. Say hi. Good girl.
She gave you a high five twice, so that's a high 10.
No, it's high 10 if she's doing both.
Yeah.
Okay, come here. You want
Double tap.
It's here. Here's the high five.
Yeah.
Take
So
it.
yeah. Going back to the story, I think Virginia interrupted me at one point when I was talking about the postictal state when it's post tonic-clonic seizure, because this is the one that happened to Virginia the day, the one that Virginia was describing. I didn't see the seizure. She was outside the home, and so we didn't understand what was going on. For you to understand what's going on with the seizures and to first to find out and educate yourself on what type of the seizures your loved one, your friend, your family member has. Okay, it being tonic-clonic, could be absence seizures. So if anything out of the ordinary is going on with the person, you don't understand what it is, it may be a seizure, and it would be a good idea to get, an opinion from a professional. Usually an EEG is done. Sometimes if people already have tonic-clonic seizures and kind of end up in the hospital for it, someone may tell you, they possibly had a seizure.
To get a CAT scan if you fell down or something. If there's
So if there is
CAT scan, you can't have more than one every 6 months.
Yeah, so don't have too many of those.
Because it's a lot of radiation.
There's a lot of radiation from CAT scan. So two a year you're okay. Now where it comes to MRIs, those are only done in specific situations. Virginia had, I think, one or two. She had a reaction to the contrast dye. So, with all the anti-epileptic medication, you could also be allergic to it. So, and then people don't know until it actually happens that they are allergic.
Until they have the reaction.
So you need to, just take it slow. If you have a lot of allergies, if you can avoid the CT dye or the MRI dye, try to avoid it. So what else could I say? Post-ictal and pre-seizure states. Those are the ones that you need to understand. That the one that before the seizure, pre-ictal and post-ictal. So pre-ictal is before
During
seizure.
my grandma, I made a loud scream. This person is asking if that happens to other people. Yes, that happened to me.
What exactly?
This person says, during my grandma, I make a loud scream. Does this happen to you?
Yes. It
This
does.
happened, yes. Like when I had the seizure, the I don't know about the smaller seizures, but I know that my mom always said that like she could tell if I was about to have a seizure because I would like scream if I was about to have a convulsion because I would scream beforehand.
Yeah. So hi, I'm 4GX Marine. Thank you for your comment. I've seen you here before, so
Magex
thank you for
Marine.
coming back.
It's Megax Marine.
Okay. Um, yes, so Virginia's screams actually helped me in the past to hear her because, as she grew older, she got her own room. So I've when we were moving, I always tried to have a room close and adjacent to mine, so I would hear if there was any seizure activity going on, because she does have those very loud screams, and
And also
so
Zena.
I have actually woken up a few times and ran to Virginia's room to help her, so that's a good thing.
And
And then
since we
after we
had
got the
Zena,
dog,
since we have Zena,
this beautiful munchkin.
she
Hey,
she would start barking
hi,
until
sweetheart.
Mama came to the room, and then see Davy when he would start like already when I was having a seizure he would try to like what they do is they clear the saliva from the mouth. That's what the trained seizure dogs do anyway. That's what they're supposed to do. They have to like put you in position, and Davy like does that. He put me in position, and like he licks the saliva from my mouth, and
And
like he never was
sometimes
trained
he
to do
will get
this.
on top of you so you don't get up.
Yeah.
So we have seizure dogs, two seizure dogs.
They have no training.
they have no training, and they have split their functions actually. Zena
Zena
is the one that lets me know that Virginia is gonna have
Zena
or is having a
barks.
seizure. So
Zena barks until you come into the room,
she
and
barks
then when you
very
come,
loudly. Yes.
and then when you come into the room, then she continues to like help with like saliva and stuff.
Yes, and so Debbie
As-
does the other part
She's the
of the seizure dog.
notification.
Yes. So if you have a chance, this is one of the best
Quick.
tips that I can give you. The tips of the day. As we have started doing that about a year ago. I said I'm gonna give you a tip of the day. Today's tip of the day
Get a
is
doggy because doggies are wonderful.
yes, exactly.
Yes.
So if you can get a dog,
And give them
yes,
belly rubs because
yes,
they
it
deserve
is.
belly rubs.
Yes, it is a lot of work, and this is for moms and dads
But
and
they're
parents
family.
and grandparents and family members, who don't want to go through, taking care of the dogs.
Be nice to your doggy because
It
the doggies
is
are beautiful.
it is a great addition for emotional support for the person with epilepsy.
Yeah,
and Virginia
don't
can
get
vouch
cat
for it.
because cat will eat you the first chance they
Please
think they're
don't
not
say
gonna
that.
get food. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so
And doggies, they will warn you. They
a
will
lot of
brief
people
you
do
if
have
something
cats.
happens.
They love them. You had a cat for many years, and
Yeah,
yes,
but they don't like huggies and stuff. The doggies, they will let you hug them, even though they don't. Some of them don't really like it. Devin loves when I hug him because he knows he's getting attention and he's getting love. But Zena, like if I hug her all around, like I hug Debbie,
okay.
she like
I
tries to
I want to
like.
show you guys this. Hi, Zena. Hi, sweetheart.
Don't worry, it's okay. Get the belly rub.
Okay, I hope this wasn't too much,
Mwah.
moving too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like Zena, when I try to hug her all around, she's like uncomfortable with it. She'll let me like hug her a little bit, like this. But like she doesn't want me like hugging her like this, like I do with Davy. So, but like they tolerate it. I mean, she tolerates it when I hug her because like she knows I'm trying to give her love. And
So now she's
and so
actually
she loves me.
comforting Zena, and then the dogs do a lot of that for her. to help her relax when she's
I'm
stressed.
comforting Zena.
Oh,
That's what she said.
oh, that's so funny. Okay, a lot of comedy for you
She
guys.
means that Zena is comforting me.
Yes, Zena is comforting Virginia. Virginia is the one who comforts me every day, and makes me laugh, which is wonderful. And yes, Zena, hi.
With your good girl.
She's just staring at me.
But you my
Okay,
girl.
so yes, the tip of the day is get a pet if you can.
Get a doggy.
A pet who's gonna respond. So
A
I mean, if in the worst
doggy.
scenario you cannot get a dog, a cat may also be a
no.
very good,
Now get a doggy because doggies, doggies
pet
love
for you to give you that emotional comfort. That you need.
Cat is not gonna give you emotional comfort because they like to do their own thing. They're like, yeah, you give me food, okay, and you stay in your corner, I'll stay in mine.
So yes,
Okay.
number one choice would be a dog, and it's a lot of work, and
But
it's
they
worth
love
it.
you. They love you
And
unconditionally.
yes, it's worth it.
And they give you baths, like Zena's doing right now.
Oh, okay. So
She's trying to give me a bath. Zena, you're so cute. I don't need a bath though, but thank you for the offer. Oh, she's saying I have to smell like her. That's why she's trying to give me a bath so I can smell like her.
Okay, so M4G Exploring is asking how often does Virginia has grandma seizures?
I was having them very often before. I haven't had a seizure since mid-July.
Since she started having seizures at 13, which was the first story that we knew of. Okay, she had that first seizure at the age of 13, and then she was having seizures anywhere from one time a week to several times a week. That's for grandmas, not counting different other types of seizures
That we didn't know about yet.
Yeah, well, as it develops to different types of seizures, we have learned along the way, that there are many different types of seizures, and that you pay attention to them, and that you understand that those are still seizures, and they still affect your brain, they still affect your body, they still affect your living, and that they still affect your emotions, and they affect your life in a big way.
Zena's having
Okay,
a snack
so
too.
I lost my thought as you said that. So I was talking about. Oh, so do you was the question?
How often if I had seizures?
Okay, so yeah, so it would be anywhere from one to several a week, and she had.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby.
She has had seizures when she had one out right after another. So you have to be very careful, because this is, that's when ambulance needs to be called right away, even if you have experience with it, because then she's not coming. If she's not coming back out of the seizure, then you need to get professional help. Possibly they can administer some medication to help her get out of the seizure. Which, I mean, the EMS, which is, I guess, or EMT, they still don't have, many of them, they still don't have the proper equipment to address seizures, like right away, right in the ambulance. Okay, and many of them are not trained properly for seizures and for different types of seizures. Okay, the training they receive is for so many different. They get basic training for
general
so many
training
for them for so many different types of illnesses, and so many different types of trauma, that sometimes they don't recognize what it is. If they just come on a scene and they don't know, many times even people think that the person is drunk or something if they fall down. If you know about seizures and you can help someone, always be there to help them, even if it is in public, and that you can help out and give them support. If someone is alone, that happened to Virginia a lot of times, that she was alone.
That's why you need a pet, because if you're alone, then the doggy can help you. Doggy.
Yeah, so we have, okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys about this. Virginia, can you not make the dog growl? Okay. So I wanted to talk about this. I was going to say this at the beginning. For those of you who would like to share their stories about either their the life story of what kind of seizures they have and what they have gone through, or if they just want to talk about the type of seizures that they have, or the first seizure that they had, or how it impacts their life. We are right now, we are gonna be asking you guys to, if you want to share them, you can share them in a way of, let's say, a written story, which we could read, okay, or tell, from reading. We would also accept video stories. So if you would like, just say it in a video, tell your story and have it featured on our channel, especially now when it's coming in March, to have it featured there for
Purple Day.
For the Purple Day, okay? So so let us know. Let us know either in the description below the video. What in the description? Sorry, in the comments below the video, or you can just write it down here. What kind of a pet?
Doggy. Doggy.
Oh yeah, Matt. Make sure you convince your mom about having.
He's asking us to convince his mom.
Oh my.
You can get a pet when you're an adult.
Oh, that was so funny. Zina is so funny. Yeah. So yeah, Matt.
You want
us to convince? Okay, well, we can help you. Just
let
us know.
Beautiful girl.
Ask her to watch some of the videos with, especially with where Zina and Debbie are helping Virginia to. I don't know if she would want to watch those videos because they're very emotional. But yeah, so the seizure videos where the dogs are actually helping Virginia, and the dogs are the ones that are gonna alert, other members of the family. So this is a great. So Zina, stop digging a hole in the bed. All right.
Stop what?
Digging a hole in the bed. Okay, wait. Okay, you guys got to see this. This is so funny. She's already dug like half of Virginia's sponge out of the bed, and
what do you mean dug?
half of her bed.
She ate it.
Okay, the other mattress has been eaten. Okay. Anyways.
You're not so.
Okay, guys.
She's doing it again. Look at this.
Yeah, Sophie, for Purple Day. So, Sophie, wait. I wanna ask Sophie. Zina, stop that. She's so funny. So, Sophie, I wanna ask you because you said that yes, you are willing to share your story.
See, look, show this.
I know we
show
have
this.
Virginia, I can't speak.
But look, show this. She's like swimming.
Okay. So
she's falling all over the place.
I can't.
You're so sweet.
Hey.
You're so cute.
Hey, yeah.
Who's your good girl?
Hey.
I'm gonna get you.
Okay.
Okay, now
Getting
she's gonna
back
go
to-
play with Debbie.
Thank you. She's gonna beat up Debbie now. Okay, so Sophie, we already have a library of the seizures that you have sent us. Um, I would love to, and you said it is okay to share them. So I would love to have, the story that you have told me about when your seizure started when you were a baby, and those things that you have written down. If you could tell them on camera, like when you send us
Story
the videos.
time.
Yes, and so we would like to feature that on our channel. Okay, this would be a feature uh, for absent seizures, from somebody else's point of view, and it would be wonderful. So let us know if you are. No, this is so loud, Virginia. That could hurt people's ears. It's hurting mine. Okay, stop.
Come here, up on the bed.
Mommy's
Come.
gonna play later. Okay.
Up. Come on.
Stop.
She's
No.
barking at your finger.
Come on, up.
She never liked the finger because Virginia used
She
to do
doesn't like
that.
when you put.
Virginia used to do that to her
Come
when
here,
she was a
up.
baby.
Come up.
When she was a baby.
You mean what?
That is so
You
funny.
mean when she was a smaller baby?
When she was a puppy, not a baby.
Well, that's still a baby.
Oh my god.
When she was a smaller baby. Come here. Come. Come. What did I say? Come here. That's a good girl. See, she's such a good girl. She listens.
So yeah, Sophie. So prepare for us one video. It can be a series of shorter videos as you have sent to us before, where you tell your story and then I can just patch them together. So don't worry about the story. It doesn't have to be the whole story on one video. You just tell your story as it is, and then I can edit it, okay, and put it all together.
Oh, and having dogs is great for free massages.
Okay, well, Sophie has a kitty, a beautiful one, because she showed me.
Kitties can't give you massages because they have rough tongues, so they're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna scratch you.
You used to have Caesar. Okay, Zena is right in front of the camera. Okay, sweetie. Move away.
She wants attention.
Okay, move away. Come.
No, she's giving me massage.
Okay, so so cats are wonderful. Dogs are.
They're wonderful if they're not spawn of Satan.
Pets are wonderful if they're not spawn of Satan for any pets, because there are dogs that are bad as well, right? So
The dogs learn from the owners, though.
yeah, so
The
go
cats.
go with dogs that are like calm dogs, like like
Meaning
no,
like Debbie,
no,
not like
no,
Zena.
No. Come here, sweetie. Okay, no, she's moving the camera.
Zena, come
sweetheart.
here. Come here. Come.
Come on, Mama.
Okay.
Sit.
Okay. You love it.
Cool. Two kitties. Sophie has two kitties.
One is a tuxedo and the
Yeah,
other is gray.
thank you. Sophie said she will send the full story.
Oh my God! You
to me.
remember Leela? He looked like he was wearing a tuxedo.
Yeah. Oh, we had 4 cats, and then the
He was
the two
black all
females.
over, and then he had a little patch of like white here, so it looked like he was wearing a tuxedo. All
So
the time.
I want to tell the cat story because I love cats and
And
I
his
love
name was
dogs.
Lila because we initially thought he was a girl.
Yeah, we got it.
But then when we figured out that he was a boy, it was too late, and he was already
He
responding to
He
Lila.
stayed to be Lila. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful black cat with green eyes. Oh my God, I love that cat so much. Okay, so anyway, so we had at one point we had 4 cats. So we had our 2 male cats, and then
two stray females that
two
we took
stray
in.
females came in the winter. It was like over 20
They were both
Celsius,
pregnant too.
over 20 Celsius below zero. It was really brutal outside. It was a very bad winter, and they both came through our backyard door, and they stayed. And then they had four kittens each. So at one point, we had 12 cats. Four adults, and eight of the little ones. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are
Anyhow.
you sure they had four kittens?
So yeah, thank you for the story, Sophie. Let me know when you send it because I don't. Yeah, I have like three emails, so I don't always check them every day. And
That's
and
an
so
understatement.
Sophie is saying she has two kitties, and one has a tuxedo and the other one is gray.
Tuxedo mask, like Sailor Moon tuxedo mask.
Yeah, she showed me the two cats. It's gorgeous cats.
Kitties.
Yeah. So, anyways, the kitties we had, we have grown with them for many years.
Caesar was a bodybuilder kitty.
And so
He liked cucumbers.
as we have moved, we had to give some of them away. And then we had just one kind of come back to us. And
Yeah,
then,
I had him.
and then he
got cancer.
he passed away. So
Yeah.
yeah. Well, so that's that's a tough.
Yeah, lymphoma.
That's a tough part, but yeah,
Yeah.
we love them very much.
It was a good kitty. It was very much more cuddly around the end of his life. And that's common for that's actually common for when they know that it's like
They're very cuddly when they're like little small kitties.
That's because they're not strong enough to like push you away.
Well, Caesar liked to go. He liked to go outside, and he would just like take off for 2 or 3 days and then come back all beaten up because he was.
because
He would like to fight with other cats.
Mama, he made sure that he knew that the cats in the neighborhood knew that he was the king of the neighborhood. That's so he had to go for the meetings.
He was the king of the neighborhood.
He had to go to the meetings. That's why he was gone for a few days. He had to travel for business and to make sure that the other cats knew that he was the boss and to sort out some issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the cat mafia.
Mafioso.
Yeah, he was the king. He was the king mafia.
El Rey Mafioso.
Yeah.
Caesar. He was the Caesar. That would be the modern mafioso, El Rey Mafioso.
I mean,
modern.
Caesar was probably a great name for him because.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing I didn't call him mafioso.
Well, he was tiny when we got him, so
yeah.
somehow he became
Anyhow,
a bodybuilder.
so I
cat.
highly recommend to have a cat, a pet. Okay. For
I would
the
recommend more a dog.
Virginia, can you not? Because a lot of people have cats and they cannot take the dogs out every day. Okay, they just don't have the capacity. If they don't, that's why they go with the cats.
But if you get a small dog, you can teach the small dog to poop in the bathroom. I've seen videos of dogs pooping in the bathroom and peeing in the bathroom. They learn. You can teach them to do that. They're small enough that their butts can fit there. So I mean, Devi, he can't learn to go to the bathroom and the toilet because he's too big. He would keep falling off. But Zena, yeah, she can definitely. It's much easier for females to do it with the female dogs. Especially the way Zena, she does like full splits when she pees.
Yeah, when Sophie was saying that her grandpa didn't like thought about the mice. So I mean that was I mean
Matt said
that was Matt. Oh, okay. Well, I
that.
thought it was Sophie. Okay. So yeah, I mean, cats are great for catching mice. So if you guys live in a house,
It's not necessarily about catching mice. I mean, they bring you the mice as like a gift. We didn't know that. I think Caesar gave us.
Caesar brought a bird. No, was
He,
it Caesar? Yes.
yeah, it was
Caesar
Caesar,
brought
and
a
then
bird
you
to our
gave him.
door.
You didn't know that it was a
No,
gift.
and it was your father who scolded him, and who told me about like not whatever. So that's why I scolded Caesar. But no, I wasn't gonna scold him because your father influenced me to do it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I wasn't gonna say, oh, I was just like, oh, it's a gift, kind of a gift. Like that's what I thought that he was doing. My
Because
first
they hunt for
impression,
us.
that was my first impression, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so after that, Caesar kind of.
I think he like was upset about that.
Yeah, he got upset about that because I didn't accept it. I didn't accept his gift, and yeah, then a couple of times I think he brought. The next time he brought, I think it was a mouse. Second time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a mouse that he brought, but he was really good, like a cat to catch things. He was like really, really.
Because he was a hunter. We should
Yeah,
call
he
him
was a
Hunter.
The hunter. Okay. So yes to Sophie. She said she's gonna send us a written story, and she will also send us a story on video. So thank you, Sophie. That is a very good thing. Any other anyone else who would like to share their story, let us know. We would like to share as many stories as possible in March, because before or even on the Purple Day. So to have as many out as possible. And if you guys can, they would have to get to us way earlier than that, because they need to be edited. So send them to us as early as you can, uh, with at least a couple of weeks time for us to prepare and to do the editing. What are you doing? Okay, Virginia's okay. I have also remembered the trauma I had in the gym in elementary school. Uh, so yeah, so Matt says his grandpa is a stubborn Italian sometimes. LOL.
That's a given for anybody who comes from a Latin family. They're all stubborn.
Yeah, well, yeah, like I think it doesn't. It's not just because he's Italian, like people from other countries are very stubborn too, especially when they're older,
because
they want to get their own way.
Their ways. No, it's because they're set in their ways. They learn the traditions, and they learn this how they're supposed to be.
And first of all, I think they believe that they have earned to get their way because they have lived for so long. They have went through so much. This is just, an observation.
That's why all people like to fart in public, and they don't say, "Oh, who was that?" They don't blame it on anybody else because they don't care anymore. They're like, you know what? I'm just gonna fart. Who cares? If somebody wants to walk away from me, then that's their problem.
Wow.
They won't be able to enjoy my farts.
Really nice one, Virginia.
I mean, I'm already like that, so I don't need to be old to do that.
Yeah, so Sophie, you can tell any story. Like, I mean, if we tell all of your story that you remember that you want to share, and we may put it into two or three different stories as well. One about what your seizures, how it started, and then other ones about different types of seizures that have developed over the years. Because from what you're telling me, you had these shakes that that you're gonna have flurries. So yeah, so tell it all, and then we can split it into two different stories. It doesn't have to be, depending on how long it is. Okay, so tell everything that you know, that you remember. Very good, super awesome. Oh, 65 million now. Oh my goodness, 65 million people have seizures now.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. And so I wanted to share this because I believe that in the future, if there is no cure found for epilepsy, um, and prevention, because I
Listen, they
believe that
put drugs in the food to make the food bigger.
they
I
put drugs in everything,
and
okay?
and almost everything that everybody eats is processed.
So that's what I meant by prevention.
So
Watch
unless
what
you
you
live in the
eat.
woods and you forage your own food and do
You mean you
whatever,
grow, not forage.
well, forage and grow. Like you have to forage to get the seeds to grow the stuff. If you want natural food.
If you want natural seeds, you have to go in the parts of in the countries where to get the seeds where they're not genetically altered, and where there was not like toxic waste dumped somewhere close by, and they're not using pesticides and all that. And but I mean, for us who live in the cities, who need to buy
You go
food from
outside,
the
you breathe
supermarkets.
in toxic waste.
We don't have to go outside. You open the window, that's it.
Yeah, but that's natural gas, mama.
Yeah, so we have
Oh, I'm talking. Oh, you're talking about opening the window.
Oh,
I
and
was
I'm talking about your room.
farts. Girl, I was talking about farts, and I'm like, that's natural gas. That's
Yeah, no, I was talking about the fresh Toronto
no
air.
wonder I'm loopy when I wake up.
I was talking about our fresh Toronto air. The windows are
Fresh.
open 24/7 pretty much, like most of the time.
That's because they
Yeah.
don't know how to have proper temperature in this building.
Yeah.
And they don't make sense. Why do they have the heat on during the day when it's cheaper at night? And when it's colder at night too. The heat needs to be on at night.
Yes. So Sophie is saying, I think it is important to share a trauma, especially being a special needs. I did not think it was trauma. So anything that feels like trauma, it is trauma. Okay. Now share everything that you believe
If
that
you
is
see something,
that
say
you
something.
believe yourself that is of value with sharing.
If if something happens to somebody else as well, then if you see something, say something.
Yeah. So yeah, share everything. Like I mean, um, Virginia has gone through so many different traumas, that I believe it made her who she is today. It made her stronger.
It made me
It,
learn that you have to understand, that you have to go, that going through the bad can make you a stronger person. It can teach you to appreciate the good things that you have in life. If you don't
so that would be another
necessarily,
great tip of the day that Virginia is gonna give you
That's
now.
why people certain influencers who have not had like a hard life, they haven't gone through stuff, they act like spoiled brats because they think they're entitled to everything. But like the people who have gone through stuff,
They
Sweetie, you can't have
understand
chocolate. Go
that you
eat.
have to work for things,
Go eat doggy food.
and that when you do finally have these things, you can truly appreciate it because you know you worked hard for it, and not just be like, oh, this phone is, I got it last year, but there's a new phone out there. I want the new phone, and they expect their parents to buy it for them because their parents worked hard for the money, but they didn't work hard for it, so they think it's just disposable with the money because it's just disposable. But they don't understand that it takes hard work to make that money in the first place. You know? I find that people who struggle the most, especially comedians, they struggle with a lot of comedians. They struggle, the good comedians
With
that I know,
depression.
they struggle with depression and anxiety, and then so many different, mental issues, and they learn
And
make
so do
their.
people with epilepsy. And I'm sorry, I have a mouthful right now. I'm hungry.
I mean, I know people with epilepsy who are just Debbie Downers
Come and get some doggy food.
because they don't understand. They're not at the point in their life where they where they should be thinking, I have seizures, but still I should enjoy this, like
Debbie.
I learned, I think it's not just because of my seizures, it's because of the other things that I've gone through in my life that I understand, especially with moving around a lot as a kid. I understood that I had to enjoy the moments rather than the things that I had. I had to enjoy the moments that I had that were good. And that's what taught me to really appreciate it. Yeah, you're right, Matt. He says, also there's words people don't say enough to family or people they care about enough. Yeah, that's definitely true. And that's why I tell mommy I love her like every day, because I have to make sure that she knows she's not gonna be around forever. That's just a fact of life. So I have to tell her that I love her every day, because
And yes, she does. And
so
it
she
makes me
knows.
happy. And when she's out with friends or something, I miss her. Because there is nobody
There's
telling me
nobody-
that she loves me.
There's nobody to bug you.
And coming in my room and bug me and tell me and show me memes and tell me jokes and make me laugh.
Even when she's working, I like shove my phone in her face. Look at this cute doggy.
Oh, she makes me. And this is really good, okay? If you have someone.
Because I
in
want
your
to
life.
make you happy. I want to make sure that you're happy.
Yeah.
Because you look so focused on you like this.
Because I am focused and you come and.
Yeah, but you look so angry when you're focusing on the screen. And so I have to make sure that you're happy when you're doing your work, so you're not feeling upset about doing the work. Because if you like take a little break to look at funny pictures, then you feel better, and then you can get back to the work feeling refreshed and happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I understand at that point that I'm already past due for time
some
to
funny
relax.
stuff?
Yes. Yes. So, okay. Any conclusions to, what else could I say about, today's story? Learn. Okay, so this is another tip of the day. Learn as much as you can about your epilepsy. Okay? It is very important. It is very important, okay? You need to wait a few minutes. We're going to conclude now, okay?
Okay.
All
A few
right.
minutes, how many days?
Okay. So, Learn as much as you can about your epilepsy. We are gonna be finishing up really soon, like in a few minutes. So if you guys have any quick questions, just
You
ask them
said that a
now.
few minutes ago.
No, I didn't say a few minutes. And so educate yourself about epilepsy. Educate yourself about first aid. Okay, learn the first aid. It is super important for anyone who has, well, for anyone, okay, to know first aid, because anything can happen in life. Accidents can happen, and
Even
especially
even
people,
if you
excuse
don't
me, just wait for your
wait.
time. Even especially with people who have epilepsy, they have a lot of things happening to them, and unexpected, obviously. So they have a lot more injuries than or people who don't. Okay, go ahead, honey.
Okay, so you even like learning about first aid, you don't just learn about first aid. You have to, because you don't always have like a first aid kit available, like in some places. Okay, so you have to make sure that you educate yourself so you can learn about other things to do with the things that you have, like if you get a bad cut, and you don't have like stitches or anything, then you have to learn to how to cauterize the wound so that you don't like bleed out or something.
Yeah, so this is super important, okay? A person can hurt themselves physically in a way where, they could, fracture bones, where they could have open wounds. You need to know first aid for everything, okay? For everything, because people who have epilepsy, who have seizures, they have a lot of accidents, and the accidents happen, okay? And you need to know what to do.
Accidents happen even with normal people.
Yes, and so that's, you need to know, especially because of that, you need to know first aid in pretty much every situation. How to dress the wounds, how to stop bleeding, in
How
pretty
to
much any
sterilize
situation,
things.
how to sterilize, how to, how to use the antiseptic, and all of those things that, the first aid
and
talks about.
and if you don't have any antiseptics like hydrogen peroxide or
So you need
rubbing
to know the
alcohol,
alternative ways
you
of,
need to know alternatives.
and even have, things around the house that, that you can help in a natural way. So
and
sometimes.
And also, because mommy thinks that the apocalypse is happening, you have to learn these things just in general. Even the normal people have to learn these things because
Yeah, if you want to prepare yourself for the apocalypse, yeah.
I mean, if the apocalypse happens, there's not gonna be any ready first aid kits around. Okay, so you have to be prepared. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
So yes, we must stand together, and that's why, we do these. So Sophie said, thank you for sharing and continuing educating. We must stand together. This is really important. What we do is, we share our experiences with you guys in order to help you to understand your own seizures better. This is for people who have seizures, for the family members and friends, anybody who wants to learn more. We help to educate so you can understand seizures, so you can attend the person in a better way. Talk to them in a soft voice, and when they're having the seizure, or when they're coming out of the seizure. um, be to learn as much as you can, whether you're a person who has epilepsy or whether you're a person who is, a loved one of the person who's got the epilepsy. Yes, honey, go ahead.
I got something that needs to get out.
Okay, so yeah, so Sophie is gonna send us her video, and and her story to us. So thank you for being with us, everyone. Virginia needs to tend to
To my
her
bodily functions.
to her bodily functions, and so thank you for being with us, for sharing with us. Remember to,
Thank you.
for those of you
Thank
who are watching
you.
the video later on,
This
so
is sign language for thank you. Thank you.
okay,
Thank you.
who are who come and watch the video later on when it's not live stream, please leave a comment below the video. You can even tell your story. You can write your story down in the comments. This is perfectly all right, honey. Okay, wait, advertising after. Uh,
They can see it anyway.
okay, so these are Virginia's channels, guys. If you want to check them
Right,
out,
it's Virginia.
Virginia has 3 channels,
Virginia
so they're
DG
active channels.
have
Okay,
4
I
channels.
didn't. I'm
All
not.
of them are active.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
Virginia DG, that's my health channel. Virginia
She
DG
interrupts me
Laughs,
all
that's
the
one
time.
word. Excuse you. Virginia DG Laughs is my comedy channel. Virginia DG Gaming is my gaming channel. And Virginia Delgado Gonzalez is my vlog channel. You can see them. If you can't remember the other ones, just remember Virginia DG. And then in the channels tab, you can see
Yes,
the other
honey,
channels.
and you can also see all this
You can see
in the
all my funny stuff.
description below the video. I have
Yes.
put links for Virginia's channels.
But this
okay?
is prettier.
Yes, this is very much prettier, and Virginia
Yes.
worked on it very
I
hard.
worked really hard, and I got my sister to help me with this.
Yes.
I did the base sketch on my thing, in my sketchbook, and then I got my sister, my wonderful bestest sister, Nisha, to help me to do this.
Yes.
Because she's
Okay.
the bestest big sister ever in the whole entire universe and all of the universes combined.
Okay,
And
so
then Nisha.
going back to the story that we are asking people to tell their story. Okay, please, you can post your story, short or long, in the description below the video. That's fine. And if you like to share it and have it featured on our channel, it doesn't have to be in March. If you need more time, go ahead and let us know that you would like to do that. It can be a written story that we can read or tell, on our one of our live streams, or it could be, a story told in a video, or it could be, a video story, where you would like to tell your own story while you're in front of the camera, or even you would like to do it vocally, just tell us. And Virginia, what is this? Okay, all right. So she's making me forget even what I'm talking about. So
I'm not making you forget anything.
yes, you are. Yeah, she's distracting me all the time. All
No,
day
you're
long.
distracting yourself.
I'm working on things, and then she comes.
You're not
with this-
focused enough.
Yeah,
if
right.
you're forgetting things.
Okay. All right.
All right.
White Lioness, have a good night. Thank you,
Good night,
everyone.
Misha. I love you. My best
Thank you,
sister.
everyone, for being with us. Okay, Virginia has to go.
Yes.
She has
Number
to
2.
go.
I
Okay,
have to
and
wake me up so I can go.
so okay, we're back because we're very ill, both of us, for like 2 months.
We were very ill. Not
Yeah.
we are.
So I said we were.
No, you said we.
Okay,
were.
we didn't need to argue about that. So we were very ill,
Got it.
and then
Mind.
we're back. So we're back to
We're
doing
back.
creepy. So
Look at
we're
Zena.
back to doing this
Look
for
at
now. We used to do it on Fridays. We're back to doing it on Sundays
I'm okay,
now.
Zena. I'm
Actually,
okay.
we're gonna do it on Sundays.
I'm okay.
Because there's more audience, more people actually have time to come on the live stream on Sunday. So we're gonna do it on Sundays, and we're gonna try to do it a little bit earlier. So
Yeah, but we
lots
can't
of
spend the money.
love, okay? Mwah, to all of you guys. Virginia, say you're happy. Bye bye.
I love you.
everybody.
Bye bye. I gotta poop.
That is so that's cool. All right.
Yeah, it's the coolest thing. Pooping
Okay.
is cool.
Okay. Bye everyone. See you
Pooping
in the
is
next
fun.
stream. See you in the next stream.
Bye.
Where is the stop thing?
And my,
Always
my poop.
it confuses me.